When someone pulls away, most people don't panic loudly. They panic internally. Their thoughts speed up, their chest tightens, and their attention collapses inward. In that state, they become desperate to restore certainty, not because something has been lost, but because uncertainty feels unbearable. And this is where most relationships quietly tilt out of balance. Power in relationships is rarely taken by force. It is surrendered in moments of fear, a text sent too quickly, a question asked too softly, a need exposed too openly. People don't lose leverage because they care. They lose it because they react before they stabilize themselves. By the time regret arrives, the damage has already been done. The Stoics understood this pattern long before modern psychology gave it language. They observed that pressure does not change character, it reveals it. When distance appears, nothing external has harmed you yet. The threat exists only in interpretation. What determines the outcome is not the silence itself, but what you do in response to it. Most people fail this moment immediately, not because they are weak, but because fear is persuasive. Fear convinces you that silence means rejection and that space means abandonment. It creates urgency where none has been confirmed and tells you that acting now is safer than waiting. That is how people talk themselves into saying the one thing that costs them control. The sentence usually sounds reasonable. It feels mature. It even feels vulnerable. Did I do something wrong? On the surface, it looks like accountability. Beneath it, however, is a confession. It says that uncertainty destabilizes you. It says your emotional state now depends on another person's reassurance. It quietly places your center outside yourself. Epictetus warned that we are disturbed not by events, but by the judgments we attach to them. Someone pulling away is an event. Panic is a judgment. And judgments, unlike people, can be trained. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It is about refusing to let emotion dictate behavior under pressure. This is not about manipulation. It is about self-command, the ability to remain internally steady when your nervous system is demanding relief. Stoic psychology teaches restraint at the moment most people reach outward. It asks you to tolerate uncertainty long enough to avoid betraying yourself. Here is the uncomfortable truth. If someone is genuinely interested, temporary distance will not erase that. If someone is testing boundaries, chasing rewards the behavior. And if someone is losing interest, explaining yourself will not reverse it. Words do not restore attraction once respect has been compromised. The illusion people cling to is that the right explanation can rebalance the situation. But attraction, respect, and emotional gravity are not negotiated. They are felt. When you rush to clarify, you do not look secure. You look unsettled. And instability, even when polite, is sensed immediately. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a man should stand like a cliff against which waves continually break. The waves do not weaken the cliff. They reveal its structure. When someone pulls away, the distance is the wave. Your reaction is the structure. Stillness does not mean indifference. It means you are not hollow inside. Most people misinterpret silence as punishment. In reality, silence in this moment is stability. It is you allowing the situation to exist without rushing to collapse it. It is you refusing to trade long-term self-respect for short-term emotional relief. When you chase, you communicate that distance controls you. When you explain without being asked, you signal that your value requires defense. When you ask for reassurance, you hand authority over your emotional state to someone else. None of this creates safety. None of this builds respect. And none of it strengthens connection. Seneca warned that the man who depends too heavily on reassurance becomes a servant to it. The more validation he receives, the more he needs. This is why reassurance never satisfies panic. It only postpones it. Stability must come from within, or it will never last. If you have ever sent a message you immediately regretted, you already understand this lesson. The feeling afterward is not relief. It is exposure. You feel smaller, not because you were honest, but because you acted from fear rather than choice. Pause here and think honestly. Have you ever chased clarity and lost leverage because of it? If you have, leave your thoughts in the comments. Awareness sharpens when it is named. Stoicism offers a different response. Emotional containment. You feel what you feel, but you delay action until the emotion settles. You let the nervous system calm before the mouth opens. This is not suppression. It is discipline. And discipline is what preserves dignity under pressure. When distance appears, your job is not to close it. Your job is to remain grounded, to continue living, to continue moving with purpose, to refuse to make another person the regulator of your internal state. When you do this, something subtle but powerful happens. Your thoughts slow, your body relaxes. Your words, if they come at all, come from clarity rather than anxiety. You stop bleeding power without trying to gain it. And often, that shift alone changes the dynamic. This is why the Stoics valued silence so highly. Not because words are dangerous, but because unnecessary words often reveal unnecessary weakness. The man who can wait is the man who cannot be rushed into self-betrayal. If this way of seeing relationships sharpens how you interpret silence, distance, or emotional pressure, then you already understand the value of staying close to this mindset. The men who benefit most from these ideas are not trying to control others. They are mastering themselves. When someone pulls away, do not narrate your fear. Do not ask questions designed to soothe your anxiety. Do not explain yourself before you are accused. Not because these things are immoral, but because they quietly lower your position. Respect grows where restraint exists. Attraction survives where self-respect is intact. And the strongest response under emotional pressure is often the least visible one. The Stoics never taught men to cling, they taught men to stand.